very famous for its robotics and IoT related activities. And we have our drone center. Inside you will see we have the complete setup of industrial IoT. As you are aware that today industries, the OEMs are not doing the right thing by blocking the internet enabled
focuses on
robotics, Internet of Things, yes, industrial IoT, all the latest technologies.
Do they get access to actual industries?
They wanted us to do the prototype of that, and we are very much successful in that.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Dr. Hasif, head of electrical department. Recently, we have started.
We want to record what is the product, and if it is defaulting, it should be automatically filtered. Again, this is a HBL concentrator that our students are making. So with respect to pandemic, the doctor can be anywhere and they can actually operate or move a button on their phone, and this is going to rotate, and the constant level of oxygen will get adjusted. So they don't need to wait for the doctor, that's the idea. We have other support 3D printers, other PLC mechanism and all that. So we are trying to provide a very conducive environment. AI, ML, robotics, all the latest emerging technologies we want to put our students. Yes. Sir, it's respiratory oxygen.
Tanya, founder and CEO of Good Mind, a mental wellness platform, your host for today. It's my honor and privilege to welcome you all to the inauguration of Sultanulum Knowledge Hub Foundation. SU Knowledge Hub is an academic incubator powered by one of India's most reputed private educational institutions and hosted by Sultanulum Educational Society, that is a house to Muffakham Jah College of Engineering and Technology, Sultanulum College of Pharmacy, Sultanulum College of Law, Amjad Ali Khan College of Business Administration, and Ghulam Ahmed College of Education. It's my honor to have all the dignitaries and the audience. Let's get started with a big round of applause. It's our privilege to have the presence of Mr. Jayesh Ranjan Sir as our chief guest, the Principal Secretary, Industries and Commerce and Information Technology, Government of Telangana. I request Amir Javed Sir, the board member of Sultanulum Educational Society and the member of SU Knowledge Hub, to please present the bouquet to Mr. Jayesh Ranjan Sir. We are honored to have Mr. Waliullah Sir, the chairman, Sultanulum Educational Society, as well. We have with us Mr. Zafar Javed Sir, Honorary Secretary, Sultanulum Educational Society. I request Nazneen to please come onto the dais and present the bouquet to Zafar Javed Sir. We have with us Mr. Nisar Ahmed Sir, board member, Sultanulum Educational Society and member of SU Knowledge Hub. I request Sophia to please come onto the dais and present the bouquet to Nisar Sir. It's an honor to have Mr. Masood Abdul Khadir Sir, Joint Secretary, member of Sultanulum Educational Society and SU Knowledge Hub. I request Arshia to please come onto the dais and present the bouquet to Masood Abdul Khadir Sir. And I'm glad to introduce board members, Sultanulum Educational Society, and I request Mahek to please come onto the dais and present the bouquet to. We also have Mr. Amir Javed Sir, board member, Sultanulum Educational Society and member of SU Knowledge. Last but not least, we also have Mr. Miraj Fahim, CEO of SU Knowledge Hub, over here with us. I request Juvedia to please present the bouquet to Miraj sir. India's first coding bootcamp, the Hacking School, acquired by iCollege Australia and Code.in. He has also founded India's first student-focused non-academic startup incubator, Adventure Park, and was also an innovation fellow with Government of Telangana. Over to you, Miraj.
Thank you so much, Sania. I'm beyond honored and privileged to be sitting amongst such dignitaries on the dais and amongst you all today. Gives me immense pleasure to have you all with us on an on this very important milestone, the launch of the SU Knowledge Hub Foundation Incubation Center. And incubation centers are very close to my heart. Been doing this for a really long time now, and this Sultanul Education Society with all its colleges, MJ College of Engineering Technology, SU College of Pharmacy, SU College of Law, all the campuses are inarguably, the most happening, is the most happening campus in the city. And what I aim to make SU Knowledge Hub Foundation is the most happening part of the most happening campus in the city with all of you. Thank you so much. I would like to express my very sincerest gratitude to the Board of Governors of SU Educational Society for this vision, for believing in the power of ideas, for believing in the power of students, and for believing what students can do and what they can build, which can improve and push the human race forward. We always believed, and the vision of SU Knowledge Hub is very simple. We very strongly believe there are some brilliant ideas, very creative ideas and founders sitting in the classrooms of our campus, sir, and we want to bring them out, support them, provide them with all the resources that they would need to take their ideas to the next level, contribute to the campus, to the society, to the state, and eventually to the country, and make all of us proud. This is an effort in that direction, and I sincerely express my gratitude again to the board for all the support, for believing in this thing, and for the guidance, for everything. I would like to thank the chairman, sir, the secretary, sir, the director, sir, joint secretary, sir, everybody on the board for their inputs that have helped shape this place and shape the program and the of this incubation center. Thank you so much, and over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Miraj. Now, I invite Mr. Zafar Javed Sir, who is the brain behind this SU Knowledge Hub and Honorary Secretary, Sultanul Educational Society. Mr. Zafar Javed Sir is associated with the society from 1992. Apart from Sultanul Educational Society, he is also associated with several other educational institutions in various capacities all over the country. He served as the chairman of AP State WAQF Development Committee, board member of HUDA, member of Central Firm Censor Board, and member Court of Aligarh University. He is the national convener of Islamic Development Bank, India. He was a member of National Monitoring Committee for Minorities, chaired by the Prime Minister, Government of India. Over to you, sir.
Respected Jayesh Ranjan ji, Principal Secretary to Government and for Industries, Commerce and Information Technology, Honorable Chairman, Sultanul Education Society, Mr. Waliullah Sahab, Mr. Nisar Ahmed, Honorable Member of the Board, Mr. Miraj Fahim, my distinguished colleagues on the board, and principals of various constituent institutions of Sultanul, dear students and members of the press. The inauguration of SU Knowledge Hub today is an important milestone in the history of Muffakham Jah College of Engineering and the constituent institutions of Sultanul Education Society. So we are a 42-year-old society, and it's always been our endeavor to excel in the respective areas our institutions have been established, because of which MJ College is one of the reputed engineering colleges in the entire country, and by various agencies we've been rated amongst the top 50 colleges, engineering colleges in the country. And the College of Pharmacy also has the accreditation from the National Board, and so does the B.Ed College and so on. We are one of the reputed law colleges in Telangana, and our school has been producing 100% results for the last 29 years in CBSE. So we've worked hard towards achieving this goal, and God has been kind, It's a collective effort of all the principals, the faculty and the members of the board who guide them periodically. We have, sir, tried to walk in tandem with emerging technologies, and this very year, in the last 4-5 months, we established the Department of Drone in the college, and we have also gone solar, sir. We've completed the first phase of producing solar energy, and most of the engineering college is, we produce the energy, and I think within a year, the board has decided that we would entirely have our own solar energy production on the campus itself. And now we have the SU Knowledge Hub. We have also kept one big door open for outsiders, because we just don't want to restrict the work being done here to Sultanlum or its constant institutions, because we need young minds to be working along with our students. And 40% of the students in our hub would be outsiders and from various campuses, and anybody who wants to use our facility and has ideas, we are always there to support them, sir. So I think our campus, students of our campus, and with a good mix of students from other campuses, we hope and intend that very soon we should be achieving our goals. And the Government of India and the state government, we are very fortunate that both of them have laid extra emphasis on startups, incubation centers. It's Startup India is a very popular program of the Government of India, although it might not have worked the way we expected it to. But with all these incubation centers coming up, and Jayesh ji being at the helm of affairs in information technology, and he would be guiding us, presuming that he would be guiding us from time to time, and with his guidance and support, we are very, very confident that SU Knowledge Hub would emerge as a major center for incubation, at least in Telangana to start with. And we have a very, sir, on our campus alone, we have 112 PhDs in various faculties. So with this very important input and the young minds who are here and the guidance, we are very sure that the hub has a very bright future in the years and in the times to come. Thank you so much, sir, for having me.
Of today's inauguration. And now we have our chief guest, Mr. Jayesh Ranjan IAS, Principal Secretary of Industries and Commerce and Information Technology, Departments of Government of Telangana. He has been the Industrial Promotion Sector as Commissioner and MD of Industries Department, Secretary in the Tourism Promotion Department, the Industries Department, and Vice Chairman of the Hyderabad Urban Development Authority, and various rural assignments in different parts of the state for over 12 years, working in diverse sectors like tribal development, natural resources management, poverty alleviation, and other related social development sector. I request sir to please add a few words.
Thank you very much. Respected Chairman, Shri Walidullah Sir, Shri Zafar Javed Sir, Mr. Nisar Ahmed, Mr. Mehraj, members of the board, governing council, principals, faculty members, dear students, guests. Let me begin by congratulating the institution for starting this very important initiative. In fact, this is the future, and if we had not done this, we would have been 100% left behind. I can tell a few very important things to you. I'm on the board of another very important and a very prominent engineering college in Hyderabad, which is called IT. I'm on their board for almost 8 years. Whoever is the IT secretary of the state is given a chance to be on that board. So I'm on the board for 8 years. Roughly around this time, January, February, when the board meeting happens, the director of the institution, he tells us about the placement performance. And I'm noticing this year after year after year, despite pandemic, despite COVID, the placement performance has been phenomenal. Every year the director tells us about the number of students who got placed, the number of students who got international jobs, the highest salary, the average salary, and each year the numbers are better than the previous years. It is very impressive. But every time in the board meeting, I ask one question, and the question that I ask is that how many of your students chose not to participate in the placement? Despite so much of salaries and international companies recruiting, are there students who are refusing to join that placement? And the director shares that number. He has that number. He does not directly tell, but when you ask for that number, he tells that number. So if you examine who are these students who are not joining the placement, who are opting out of placement. So typically you see 3 categories of students. One category are students, see, as you would know, many students from Hyderabad go to the US or go abroad, they want to continue studying, or they do this, after engineering they shift to MBA and things like that. So one group of students is that, they're still studying either abroad or in some MBA institution. And that number by and large is constant, year after year, roughly the same percentage is in this category. A small percentage of students are those who want to appear for the civil services exams, who want to write the IAS exam or the state civil services exam, and there is a small decline in this number. But there is a third category whose numbers have gone up like anything. Earlier, I remember in 2014, 2015 when I was in the board, first these numbers were very small, hardly in double digits, but these numbers have gone enormously high. And these are students who have decided to become entrepreneurs, who have decided that as soon as they finish college, they will start their own company, they will start giving jobs to others rather than working for others. And while they were students, they have already figured out what is the line of activity, what is the work they are going to do. Already some effort has already gone underway. So it is not that they are starting absolutely fresh. They have got some exposure already as a college student. And I am very, very sure what is happening in IT, what is happening in IITs will happen in good colleges like ours. So if you give facilities to the students to begin their entrepreneurial journey at an early stage, that will give them a very important head start. They will not be fumbling around, they will not be wasting time. Another very important global trend is that startup founders, entrepreneurs, we use another term for them in India, that is startups. If they are doing something innovative, if they are doing something which is very common, then maybe we can continue to call them as entrepreneurs. But if they do something original, something unique, something innovative, the word typically that is used the world over is startups. And another phenomena that we have seen the world over is that the startup founders are becoming younger and younger and younger. In fact, you will not believe this. I was a few months ago, I was attending a startup event in Bangalore where I was introduced to someone who was, when I met him, he was maybe 20, 21. But when he was introduced to me, the important feature of his introduction was that he was the CEO of his company at 12 years age. And I found a little bit more about him. How come at 12 years? Because at 12 years, many of us are still kind of unsure about ourselves. We are still considered to be kind of child. But here is and so I tried to check. Is he the son of some rich father who just to satisfy him created a company, made him the CEO, just like a fancy idea, but there was nothing like that. He was a self-made CEO. He had a proper company with balance sheet, 8 employees. He was into some kind of a this hyper-local e-commerce kind of an activity, just looking after a large gated community in Bangalore. to streamline all the deliveries and all that. But he was a CEO, and of course when I met him, he was 21. He had already moved on to 3-4 other kinds of enterprises, and he was doing something equally remarkable at that point in time. So, of course, 12 years may be an exception, but the fact is that more and more young people are starting to begin their own company. In fact, you must be familiar with one very important startup in the country, which is called OYO. OYO is, as you would be aware, they are the ones who aggregate hotel rooms, and they give a makeover to very basic kind of hotels, make it hospitable and all that. So the person who founded that, Ritesh Agarwal, he founded OYO when he was just 20 years old. So 12 of course is very exceptional, but 20 is also kind of amazing at the age of 20 years. And he's again someone, like many other illustrious people, chose not to pursue education because he was so passionate about this idea of starting his own company. And in the startup world, there is also an element of competition. I have seen this many times, that you may have an idea, but it could be very, very likely that in some part of the world or in the country, someone else has also got that same idea. And if you don't move fast, someone else will move faster than you, occupy that space, and you will just be left nowhere. So speed is also of essence, and therefore it is very important that minds are shaped right from a very early stage. Not to say that every student will become entrepreneur, but many of them potentially can. And if you can motivate all of them who potentially can to get into the world of entrepreneurship, that will be doing the whole country, the whole world, the whole society a big service. Because we all know that those days when everyone was assured of a job, either a private sector job or a government job, those days are history now. In fact, government's own ability to create jobs is limited, and we are also seeing all kinds of shocks, all kinds of economic phenomena where the private sector jobs are also not very lucrative. Right now, as we speak, we are all in the middle of a big recession. Every day we read that jobs are getting lost and all that. So, I mean, it's no fun anymore to covet a particular company or covet a particular kind of job. Everything is full of uncertainty. So, as I said, this is a very welcome decision of the board, a very wise and mature decision to set up this knowledge center, the knowledge hub, and we all saw the facilities. They are absolutely brilliant. This is very important. Some of you may have been to T-Hub and some of the other incubators which the government manages here. We have designed them in a very particular way so that it encourages creativity, it encourages collaboration. It is not like a regular kind of an office room or a classroom, much more, as you see, the kind of designs and the vibrancy which has, that atmosphere which has been created here is very important for young people to think in a very positive way, optimistic way, look at others, get inspiration from others, etc. So it's a very kind of an appreciable effort. Couple of more things which I would like to share at this point of time is that while the facility can support some number of people, of course, even T-Hub, which is very huge, at some point there will be no further space and you'll have to say full stop to it. Here also, at some point in time, you can only admit X number of students. As Zafar Saab said, you also allow some number of outsiders also to be a part of it. But what I would still suggest is that the seeds of entrepreneurship can be sown in every person's mind, every student's mind. And the best way to do so is to look at the students' projects which they are required to do. I'm sure engineering students have to compulsorily do a classroom project, typically in their third year or maybe in the fourth year, I really don't know, one of these 2 years. Similarly, management students also do some kind of a project. Possibly others can also be encouraged to do projects. For some time, a reasonably long period of time, for about 1 year, 8 months, I was the officiating Vice Chancellor of the JNT. So there was no regular Vice Chancellor, and being the IT Secretary, I was asked to take charge. I thought that it would just be for 1 month or 2 months, but it went on for 1 year and 8 months. So literally I was the person who was running the show there. And we found, of course, JNTU is a large university. There are 240 odd colleges there. The quality of colleges is not homogeneous. There are some brilliant colleges also, but remote and rural colleges don't have that kind of caliber of faculty, that kind of quality. So we try to introduce these kinds of concepts there, that the project that you are doing, introduce an element of business planning. In fact, before I started this idea, I was told of some very, very shocking stories about such colleges. What I was told was that no one takes this project work seriously. People pull out some old project work submitted by some student 5 years ago or 10 years ago. They just change the name and resubmit it. The faculty also does not demand any accountability. You just give some 30 marks, 40 marks to everyone and everyone passes. That is the purpose of that project, just as a formality that I get some 40 marks and I am done away with it. So we try to introduce this concept that first of all think of a problem which is in and around you. Think of some creative solution, and while you bring technology, because you are an engineering student, you have to explain what science, what physics, what technology will work there, but also explain how you can commercialize this idea, how will you scale up this idea. Bring an element of business plan. And in many of these colleges, we taught some of the faculty on these management principles with the help of Indian School of Business, ISB. And we found some very good results. In fact, every year at the end of the year, we would do a showcase of these kind of student projects, and we found some of them to be of amazing quality, as good as a student in IIT or Triple IT or a college like Sultan, they will deliver. So these kind of initiatives are required, that every student takes their college project very, very seriously. The other thing, when I was looking at the industrial IoT and robotics and the new generation work which is going on, it is again very important to be connected to the larger ecosystem. For example, in Hyderabad, there are many companies today who are doing amazing industrial IoT. In fact, there is a company called Schneider. Their factory is near Dindigal. In the World Economic Forum in Davos last year, they got the global first prize of having the best Industry 4.0 solutions in their factory. So the world's best industrial IoT is right here in Hyderabad. And if you are encouraging your students to understand preventive maintenance, sensor-based energy saving, and shop floor process improvements, etc., visiting live factories, understanding what they do, how does it work there. In contrast, visiting another factory where nothing is happening, we're still in some 19th century kind of manufacturing process. How do you get ideas? How do you discover problems? How do you create solutions for that? That is very important. I would also like to suggest that you should work very closely with the government, because we also focus quite a lot on these emerging technologies. I was very happy to see that drones are encouraged, because drones is a very priority area for us as well. In fact, one of the country's very first and one of the world's first initiative to deliver medicines using drones was tried out here in Hyderabad. And we have done lots of things. The government itself has set up an academy where drone pilots are trained. We have obtained licenses for almost 300-400 drone pilots by giving them this training. Our drone policy or the drone framework was the fundamental document which the government of India used to create their own drones policy. And we do many such innovative things which other states can't even imagine. So since you are focused on emerging technologies, please stay connected with us. We conduct lots of hackathons, we conduct lots of live projects for students. In fact, these days, briefly I was sharing with the board members in the boardroom that we are celebrating 1 week of electric mobility, sustainable mobility programs, because the Formula E racing is happening on the 11th. So just yesterday, we had a startup challenge on sustainable mobility. And I was happy to see throughout the day that lots of student teams were also there, of course professionals were also there. But many colleges are now encouraging students to test their creativity and knowledge and their ability in these kind of open competitions, so that you know what are your strengths, what is it that others are doing, which you can also do, what do you need to improve. So helps you to get a reality check on where the world is moving, what kind of problems are getting solved, and so on and so forth. So we are very fortunate that way, that you are located in Hyderabad. The government is encouraging technology, new generation technologies. We are encouraging innovation. And this center, as Zafar Saab said, can eventually become a role model on how college-based incubators or knowledge hubs can be operated, can be made useful not just for the students but for society at large. Because when you are solving real-world problems and finding effective solutions, your reputation will grow up, your recognition will grow up. Some of the students who did their basic incubation work in this facility, if they become top-notch innovators, they do amazing new stuff in bringing out products and solutions. Obviously, people will recall that it all began here from this institution. So, once again, I want to convey my good wishes to all of you and hope for the best for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. It's our honor and privilege to have you here, and thank you so much for accepting our invitation. It means the world to us. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Waliullah Sir, Chairman of Sultanul Educational Society, to present a memento and come and propose the vote of thanks.
It's been an honor and privilege to be part of this wonderful function. On behalf of the Sultanul Society, I extend my deepest and heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed chief guest, Mr. Jayesh Ranjan sir, who, in spite of his busy schedule, have taken out time to inaugurate this function. And we are aware of the fact that he is a great promoter of technology and entrepreneurship in this city. And sir, we look forward to your continued support. I also wish to thank our chairman, Mr. Waliullah sir, our secretary, Mr. Zafar Javid, who has been instrumental in floating this idea of the hub and promoting this thing, and it has come to shape now. I also wish to thank my colleagues on the board, Mr. Masood Abdul Khader sir, Dr. Mir Akbar Ali Khan, Justice Ibrahim sir, and my colleague also in the governing council of this hub, Mr. Amir Javid. Thanks to all the principals of the constituent institutions, members of the press, and thank you all for attending this function. Thank you very much.
Diya Agarwal and Shaista. Sir, my students Diya Agarwal and Shaista, they have come up with a product. They wanted to take 1 second of your time to demonstrate.
Sir, this is my ID card. And this is how we designed it.
पूरा हम कॉलेज में बनाए हैं सर इन द ECE डिपार्टमेंट एवरी कंपोनेंट वी हैव folded it and we have made the whole thing. Safety device, please.
So as soon as I just push this trigger, I will get a message on the phone number saying I need help with the current location,
Latitude and longitude will be.
SOS.
Yes. And Google Map link, with a Google Map link.
And this
Also
can
I
be
get a
part
call.
of your identity card holder.
Exactly,
Yes,
sir.
sir,
That's
I
what
got
we are
the
trying.
message
This
here.
is our MJ card. And the entire thing is 3D printed in our own labs. So we wanted to actually.
Circuit is designed by
जी sir,
Yes,
पूरा
sir.
everything these girls have done. तो women hub and all that, you know, बच्चा ये product launch करना चल रहा है सर.
We need your support, sir.
We Safe is the name of the company that they are thinking.
It's very handy.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So we will need the encouragement of the government for this thing, so definitely we will reach out.
So drop me a note.
Sure, sir.
Please.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Take my
I'll
email ID.
Yes. Thank you so much.
All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.